And I'm back, baby! Back in action better than ever, ready to farm some soy milk, drinking dirt guppies into the ground with the greasy little piglet yotos they are, oinking around the pig pen. Mike's is back in acting better than ever, ready to blow his nose and talk about the Rings of Power, the most garbage show on the internet. I'll probably get banned off Twitch for saying that. Okay, so Rings of Power Season 2, of course, is coming back. Now, the one thing that they have going for them is that the first season was so unbelievably unwatchable that it's almost impossible to make a worse second season. So that's pretty much the only thing they have going for them. But everything else, I'm really scared that somehow they're going to make it worse. But they should just work with Blizzard, because whenever I say I don't know how they could make it worse, they always find a way. And I don't know how. It's like we tell the Blizzard we don't want these quests or whatever. They add in more. We tell Blizzard we hate the way the PvP is. They keep making it the same way. We tell Blizzard we like these mounts. They take them out of the game. It's like, oh, same with this. But I don't know how they could make it any worse. Like, I'm hoping, obviously this didn't happen, but I'm hoping they just literally fired all the cast, fired all the directors, fired every single person in Bald Bezos' company, and just hired the maestro. Or just they could hire random people from the street, and the show would be better than the first season. Random people who have no experience acting, no experience directing, and they will make a better, as long as it's not the California streets. Go to a random state and just hire random people from the street, homeless people. They'll make a better show. It was actually unwatchable. Like, to go from Lord of the Rings, the most beloved movies of all time, actual Lord of the Rings by Peter Jackson, to then Rings of Pow and have Galadriel be a stuck-up bitch bag who apparently just one-shots everything and has no personality whatsoever and lost her husband somehow, doesn't see Sauron's in front of her face. Oh God. All they do is hire people based on diversity instead of they're good at acting. Like, it's insane. Like, all these actors were so, oh God. Like, the guy who plays Isildur. Oh my God. He's so, like, could you get a word? Like, these people, they might as well just hire chimpanzees. Like, this guy is so unbelievably bad. Like, he's unbelievable. Like, I can't believe a word he says. He's so bad. But this is for all the actors. Every one of the actors is terrible. The only actor that's semi-decent good is the dwarf, and not the very diverse one. The regular dwarf with the red hair. Yeah, he was actually okay. He was okay. The rest of them, oh my God, every single one of them were terrible. Like, Elrond was not great. But anyway, so I just wanted to watch this Rings of Power. Here we go again by the Critical Drinker. He's always pretty good at breaking down movies. But there really has been no good movies for like 10 years straight. I've been like wanting to watch something good for so long. And I just can't find, I literally have to go back and watch TV shows from the 2000s that I never watched. That's literally what I have to do, because there's no good movie. So anyway, let's get into this and see. Legendary Gandalf!
You know, watching modern Hollywood hacks.
So do all who live to see such times. But it is not for them to decide. All they have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to them. Gandalf! But in the new show, Gandalf's like, no. Goodbye. That's his lines. And it's like, what the fuck did they do? What did they do to the show? He's like, didn't he say to, he said to the guys, he holds up his staff, I'm good. What? Like, when you were smiting down the Balrog, you were like, holding up, and then he's holding up his staff to the Balrog, he like starts chanting this holy sermon in the most grandest of fashions to shield himself with the light. And then in the new show, he holds up his staff and says, I'm good. Like, dude.
Trying to adapt works of classic fiction is a bit like watching a monkey try to pilot a space shuttle. It's pretty obvious they're going to fail in spectacular fashion, but there's a certain entertainment to be had in watching their feeble, idiotic attempts to get something right. Such
You never
was the case
can.
with The Rings of Power, an unwelcome billion-dollar vanity project that felt more like a piece of bad fan fiction written by a 13-year-old girl than a serious attempt
Even
to
worse than
expand
that.
on Tolkien's work.
A 13-year-old girl could write something way better than this.
Tell me, what was your favourite part of that show? The characters who spoke in metaphors so tortured?
Yeah, this guy, the first battle scene where he's like fighting, the scene didn't even look real. And then this guy says the dumbest thing, something about a boat floating, that doesn't even make sense to Galadriel. Like, what the hell?
They should have been reclassified as war crimes.
Like a spring rain over the bones of a spoiled carcass.
And pompous attempts at pseudo-philosophical ramblings that feel like they sprang from the mind of Tommy Wiseau.
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone?
Because it's a fucking
Nah,
ship.
no idea, mate. The Galadriel that was updated for modern audiences.
That did not work out well.
The very epitome of wisdom,
Greatest Galadriel character of all time.
feminine beauty and spiritual power, and turning her into a pouty, sullen, aggressive, arrogant, short-sighted girl
Shrill
boss.
bitch.
The Sauron reveal that was so obviously telegraphed that if you didn't see it coming from about 5 episodes away, you were probably a character in the
From the first episode.
show. The arrival of not Gandalf, who ended up being actual Gandalf, because fuck it, creativity and imagination are for losers.
I'm good.
The creation of Mordor by a random hobo with a Rube Goldberg machine. The tribe of wandering murder hobbits who gleefully abandon.
Dude, I used to enjoy watching the Hobbits. Like, Samwise Gamgee is the greatest hero in the show. Pip and Merry were so good. Their banter, they're hilarious. Them doing the things that they did. Now, these guys are the most annoying, just waste of space I've ever seen.
Their own people to certain death for the crime of walking too slowly. The not-so-subtle allegory for modern political issues.
They took our job! Yeah, they're down!
Or the disastrous interviews with the hardcore Tolkien fans who had clearly
Never
read
seen
a
a
single
s-
chapter
or
of his
seen a
work
movie.
in their entire lives and were nothing but a group of vacuous, empty-headed activists and wannabe influencers that were hired because they ticked more diversity boxes than fucking Echo. It all added up to a massive steaming pile of festering donkey shit, which was rightly mocked and torn apart by basically the entire internet. But you know what they say, evil doesn't rest, it waits.
And Hollywood
Instead
doesn't.
of casting this show back into the fiery chasm from whence it came, Amazon decided to forge ahead regardless with season 2 of The Rings of...
Isn't it crazy? They had the worst backlash of all time. Everyone despised it. And they're not going to change a single thing and do the exact same thing that they did before and then expect people to like it. Just like they did with The Witcher, which is complete trash. I stopped watching The Witcher. It was so bad. Like...
of power. But how exactly would they respond to the armies of angry fans marching on their borders? Were they going to acknowledge the gaping deficiencies in plot and writing, the horrible characters, the infantile dialogue, the chronic...
This guy compared to Legolas, they're so far apart, it's just not even a real fucking... It's mind-boggling.
bad world building and the blatant bastardization of Tolkien's legacy and vowed to do better this time around? Nah, but at least they hired an all-female directing team for this season.
No!
Nice one, lads. That'll really get the show back on track.
Oh,
you know, I
God.
always love it when Hollywood purposefully
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
excludes half the population from their projects, all in the name of inclusion.
Fuck.
And now that our inner doublethink is primed and ready, let's take a look at the first teaser trailer. If I had to sum up this, effort with a single word, that word would probably be safe. I mean, I could probably use other words to be fair, but I suspect they'd get this video demonetized, so let's keep it diplomatic. It seems
I already
to be almost
demonetized my video.
scientifically calculated to show as little as possible and provide almost no insight into the narrative arc of Season 2. I mean, there's plenty of nice landscape shots that look pretty but mean nothing,
That's what
and
happened.
multiple scenes of various characters looking concerned
Ah,
about
not her again, the fucking dwarf.
things, I guess to remind us that they still exist, because I'm willing to bet that most people have forgotten who they even are at this point.
Yeah.
Well, the 37% who actually managed to finish Season 1 at least. But hey, there's still a few keys left to jangle. You remember Barad-dûr, don't you? You remember Mount Doom, don't you? Well, it's still there. So is Halbrand, probably wishing he hadn't
So you
signed
should
that
watch the
multi-season
show.
contract at this point. Nice to see Venom branching out into different genres,
yeah, what
though.
is that?
And of course, no Rings of Power teaser would
Oh
be
my god, look at that. Oh my. She's I had to, in this show, I had to root for Sauron. I wanted him to win. That's how much I hate all these characters.
complete without everyone's favourite girl boss.
Prepare yourselves.
Oh, I think we're prepared, all right, Guy Ladriel. I really hope this is another ice troll that's about to attack, because she'll polish that shit off quicker than I can get through a pint of Corona. Oh yeah, and remember Diverse Elf for modern audiences? Remember that stupid Matrix-style spin flip that he did in Season 1? Well, I guess that was a feature rather than a bug, because there he is, doing the exact same thing again. Like, how the fuck do you just explode out of a stationary wagon like this? Where does all that kinetic energy come from? Why do I feel like I'm watching a Marvel movie? The only real focal point of this seems to be Sauron, who's got himself a perfect disguise this time around. Like, you know how that stupid Halbrand mystery plot from Season 1 led to one of the dumbest and most predictable reveals in TV history? Well, they seem to have dispensed with it here and just skipped straight to telling us who he is right off the bat.
He's Sauron.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. We never would have figured out that it's the same exact actor wearing a wig and pointy ears. Ultimately, it's all much ado about nothing, and I think it's a very obvious sign that Amazon know how wildly unpopular this show is and are desperately trying not to offend anyone with this
my
teaser. The new season launches in just over 3 months. Filming wrapped last year, and this is the very first piece of material they've released for it.
It's afraid. It's afraid!
And for me, it defeats the very purpose of a teaser, which is supposed to show you just enough to get you excited and interested in what's coming next. A bit like Tatiana when she's hard at work.
Tatiana!
But this random collection of landscape shots, character portraits, and vaguely ominous dialogue didn't do anything for me. And by the looks of things, I'm not the only one. As of the time of recording this, the teaser is sitting at 58,000 upvotes and 234,000 downvotes. And honestly, the most entertaining part of the whole experience was reading the comments section. And I think really that was my big takeaway for this whole thing. The animosity of a passionate fan base is an easy thing to gain, but very difficult.
That had like 300,000 downvotes, in only like 50,000 upvotes. Oh my god.
To lose, and I don't think this teaser has done anything to change that situation. I mean, maybe Season 2 will actually
That's like how many votes Biden is gonna get.
prove to be a big step up from its predecessor. Anything's possible, right? Or maybe it'll just be another expensive disaster that further unites the fan base in their hatred of Amazon. One thing's for sure though, August is going to be a very interesting time for Lord of the Rings fans.
Yep.
Anyway,
This
that's
is
all
gonna
I've
be a
got.
sketchy one, but let's see how it turns out. And when I mean let's see how it turns out, I mean let's wait till the video is completely destroying and bashing how bad it was. Son of a bitch. Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping. I wish they would make good movies, but I really have no faith whatsoever in these people because they're faithless rodents. So, I mean, Smeagol could direct a better show. Like, yeah, it's really gonna be a sketchy one, but there's nothing else to watch, so you kind of just have to watch the shit that they fucking push out, or just watch like old videos and stuff. But anyway, if you like this video, make sure to like it. A lot more than Amazon gets. Make sure the Maestro somehow gets less downvotes than Amazon. Legendary. And the Maestro never gives up.